Welcome everyone. Merry Christmas and other seasonal holidays you might celebrate. After wrapping up presents and stuff with the family, time not only to say Merry Christmas but also get some open source work done. The only constant is change and regression. This also applies to our own work. The other live stream we light-heartedly changed some fpic quirk that was for kexec. So as per usual, you wire up code 15 years ago and then 15 years later you realize it breaks kexec with building kernel code in kexec or kernel trampoline kind glue code. It's still kernel code at the end of the day and stuff, it's still kernel code. So yeah, kexec previous video, probably 2 or 3 videos ago. And that day, so what I changed then, of course it broke stuff, right? So I changed our wrapper of automatically fixing stuff. And when we changed this, I was wondering, why are we using insert there? And actually we should append. Anyway, so I changed append to insert. So append appends to the end of the command line of the GCC compiler invocation. Insert at the beginning, like push and pop. No, insert again. C++ STL style begin, and you get the idea. And when I changed this, I remember I probably said, let's why did we do this? Let's hope it doesn't break something. Also, I would say maybe we should do all of the stuff at the end. But anyway, and of course it broke at least some stuff. So lots of stuff builds. I of course recurrently epic thread ripped through all the stuff. Lots of stuff builds. But of all things, it broke HPPA. I'm already continuing to build that here after the change. But we still have the equivalent HPPA 64, and so that broke glibc early here. So the breakage looks like that. Relocation is like recompile with fpic. So I will not analyze this further, right? So I don't know why it breaks. Maybe because we build with Pi and maybe parts of GCC. Maybe that parts of glibc, because you would think glibc of all things would just build, but the recurring theme here, live on this channel, right? My life, 25 years, my life stuff. Debian people tell me, what do you even freaking do? Everything just freaking builds TMs. Like, yeah, tada, everything just freaking builds TM. So I basically will not YOLO, whatever. I have no time for that, right? It built for 10 years. It's like, if you want to look further into this, be my guest, patches welcome. But for me, it's like, yeah, okay, let's stick to what worked for 15 years. I should not have touched it to begin with, but proven wrong. Currently proven wrong with my own pro tips here. Like, never touch a freaking running system. So I will just change this glibc stuff back. However, that also means I'm also building other stuff. We have some other stuff too. So we will also fix VTE for Musel, the GNOME glib terminal emulation library, because lo and behold, of course, it also doesn't just build with. Also other major distributions use Musel for years. Other of the 1971. Also, other Linux distributions. I hard to believe. I'm also surprised that other people might use something else in T2 Linux. But you would think that this stuff is upstream, and people also like major component stuff, write software. So in 2022, aka soon year, overflow and stuff, right? 2023, and yeah, but X is of course the wrong one. But yeah, we will also fix that in a second. I saw other distributions have, of course, patches for that. But so I will patch it slightly different than Gentoo. I quickly googled that. Anyway, so as usual, recurring theme, we patch stuff better than Gentoo for obvious reasons. This is also the wrong build ID. Too many. Did I mention I have 30 freaking like 2022 epic thread ripping AMD Ryzen allows unsuccessful woman YouTuber to build 30 plus 31, soon 32. Hey, soon we overflow. Int. How many bits are this? Anyway. So point being is var ADM logs error. It's like, yeah, that also breaks. It's like, The reason we see this now, where is even the freaking error? Actually, maybe it's, yeah, so there are W exit codes like was not declared like 2022, developing unsuccessful one-man C code, apparently still difficult. But first let's also tackle the kexec. So yeah, this stuff is coming in a second. So why do I do this live stream? Because I got open source stuff to fix. Actually, I wonder, okay, let's not wonder, let's first do kexec. So the reason we noticed that is due to previous video, we now build even more. Not only do we build 31, I should find a low-hanging 32, 36. Why does this build? That's not supposed to build. What? This should not be building. How does it? This should error out with this trampoline code stuff, this purge stuff. How does it build with? This was failing the other day. I'm not entirely sure why this builds now. It wasn't the other day and it shouldn't with fpic there. Maybe, which did I use? Maybe the, either I did this in the wrong tree, which of course I have multiple, or it should be the right tree, or the, could it be, do we cache that? For whatever strange reasons it builds now. Okay, fine. I can fix it. I'm sure this is just a glitch because obviously it wasn't building and it made sense why it doesn't build. It made sense that it didn't build. Okay, fine. Then let's tackle VTE. So what the next time I will not build, actually we could test like nothing like PowerPC64LE. The way I will unbreak that is I will conditionally add. I am puzzled that this build strange. The way I will tackle this is the way I mentioned in this other video, which is conditionally if freestanding or whatever, a match there, whatever, maybe match there, probably match there, no fpic or whatever stuff, and then insert no fpic at the end to work around that. Anyway, so VTE then. Do I still have that here? I also, so there's so much stuff to fix, right? So the reason we see this breakage now is probably previously I didn't build VTE. This is only previous video. We now build so much excessively more stuff for you playing along at home. So if you got your latest and greatest epic thread wrapping AMD Ryzen, AMD Intel, RISC-V, PinePhone, Apple Silicon stuff, and you want to play along at home with T2, of course you want the latest and greatest. And so we only find more build errors because we build more, right? As I mentioned 2 years ago, epic thread wrapping faster to build errors. So source VTE. And so the reason the Gentoo people, and I could look into Alpine Linux, but whatever, it basically is pointless to look at other Linux distributions. And so what they use here also, yeah, C programming, right? They use an amazing macro. That of course. So we could patch this into Musel, but for now I will just patch that. I will just copy the glibc macro from my running system. And so that is that. And so the Gentoo people open coded that, like shifting red. So this is some wait status exit code thing here. And so instead of replacing the code, which kind of sort of, so I can basically show you in a second. So which file was it even? Widget, cc, so fix file source widget, and oh, this is even freaking C++, amazing. So they even have here wait stuff for, so that is not defining that. So I just copy that in here, right? I actually could even, if not def, actually that would be probably the most fail-proof, future-proof thing, but I will not apply that to all builds given our codeless build environment in T2. I will conditionally patch it with our conditional file named of wexitcode.patch.musl, so that this only applies for musl. The Gentoo people maintainer conditionally patched that here, and so the Gentoo people have this open coded to 0. I mean, theoretically, it's a little bit silly, right? So in Gentoo you will find that parentheses exit. So, but no, I of course messed this up. But like what? I mean, first of all, what is the point of shifting 0? And then it's like, why change the code if you can just hotfix this there? T2 continues to impress with amazing code quality that you can now purchase in our online store if you want this for commercial use and supporting our development right. Previous video, so in case you want to grab a hot Soho embedded or enterprise license or otherwise use open source edition. And welcome everyone. So questions there. T2 uses package manager. So it's, of course, we support i3 and we build from source. So it is, we use this, it's a source distribution. We use our own build system as package manager, and otherwise on the ISO, on the pre-built stage ISO, we have tarball packages. So most portable, keep it stupid simple, Unix way, maybe even kind of similar to IRIX, probably. Anyway, so let's package that and move on. Okay, I messed that. Oh wait, why is? Oh, that is interesting. I kind of did that wrong. Why is that? Here. Why do they have? Wait, this is funny. Why does glibc define 2 even? This is just okay. This is what? Okay. Fix file diff. I will fix that. Fix file diff to wexit code patch musl. That should work like that. And let's fix it up a little bit. I copy and pasted it slightly wrong. Musl. VTE, and Merry Christmas everyone. Tuning in, so we just delete that nonsense there that I just clobbered, illustrating you the point, and then we also, yeah, so we use that there a little bit. So, and then we build x68-64 musl, and so we have more stuff to fix. So the only thing is, due to the fpic stuff, theoretically I would need to rebuild everything, which is, that is the thing, right? Should I really rebuild everything? Because theoretically I wanted to release T2 except I wanted to release it at the end of October, came one more thing every day. Now we have Christmas and December, 2 months later. So much to software engineering, right? Software engineering and release managing, especially if you're a few men Linux distribution, and people don't go fund me and Patreon enough to work on it full time. Come 2 months later, and so you finally would want to release it, and then it's like due theoretically fpic just for. Do we need to do that? No, not really. It probably usually doesn't change a thing. So should we rebuild everything for the 1% chance of maybe producing slightly different binaries? Maybe, maybe not. Theoretically, I have one more thing. Some of the Steve Jobs things here on this channel continues. Probably too much attention to detail, dedication stuff. I have theoretically our stone of shell scripted installer stuff to slightly improve for at least LVM2. And that is like, do I really? And it's like, yeah, you worked on this stuff. Also, why does this break now? You worked on the stuff for. Oh, these are somehow strange types of. Why do they use stupid types? Let's skip that for now. I'm more interested how much. Is it a new build error? This is crazy. It's like 2022 and even S2 it doesn't Yeah, that is just so sad. I mean, it's easy to patch, right? If dev __ musel, then define u underscore with this extra tune, u in without extra underscore. C programming, even for bloody integer types, they couldn't agree on shit 20 years ago. The future is now. Cheers. So yeah, given that I theoretically could improve one more thing of making our store installer even more amazing, and maybe I should, right? That is the last time my release slipped 6 months, or over 6 months, probably from end of 2021 to like June or whatever that was. Like 6 months of one more thing, right? Of not working full time and this stuff. And that is always a thing, right? What I said, the 90%, the first 90% take 20% of the time, and the last 10% take 90% of the time, right? Because one more thing every day, it's like, yeah, like this is imperfect, that could be better. The more I test, that is broken. So like, yeah, this is how stuff slips. 2 months, 6 months, and why Apple stuff is so broken, right? Steve's at Tim Apple Cook, like we release on that day, and then it's like, yeah, it's full of one more fixes that were supposed to be there, but then it's not a unbroken enterprise T2 Linux. Anyway, so kexec, whatever's going on there. So the major other thing, of course, we have, as per usual, the more we build, the more build errors. What is this? All right, so this was not fully done indeed. RVR. So some things are known. Yes, this is known. I'm not yet sure. I usually skip that. Of course, it shouldn't be that I manually skip here some nonsense. AVR32, UCC. And also, yeah, VTE. We also need to fix this differently for PowerPC. It's like pretty broken packages, right? VTE doesn't build for. You know what? I previously might not even have built that for. So I know already what is a build error. The build error is that for PowerPC it produces a warning of read-writable executable stacks, and I remember that I had the issue for PowerPC 64. With other packages, I just don't remember. How I fixed it. That is a crazy stuff. So I fixed something for PowerPC a while ago, of all the constant work and changes here, and now I forgot how I last changed it. This is page size. Yeah, 2022. You need to fix your PowerPC bin utils page size. That is a crazy stuff. I fixed that. So, and I mean, this is a little bit silly. If he was, this is also known. Yeah, this is. I still need to. This is so silly that, like, why does so basic system software stuff need to write so unportable code that it doesn't work with muselibc? That is pure silly. That is pure Linux ecosystem fail. It is really sad. Maybe I should actually charge my phone on the last percent of. That is why your overkill PC build has top-mounted USB. Nothing like charging your phone from your T2 workstation. So, and so the other major thing, did I probably not. So WebKit fails for a lot of things, and also Xauth fails for, what failure is that? Also, I might have just, which one was it even? I might have just killed that. That is a possibility. That I had other stuff to do and wanted to quiet. Yeah, okay, that is it. But WebKit is super annoying. And so the sad thing is, you probably all know that Firefox, as per usual, uploaded and praised on all major news sites, removal of vintage and retro stuff, which it bothers nobody, just leave the code in a compiling way and doesn't break shit around it, but upload it at major news sites and stuff of removal of stuff and features, and then Firefox only supports like a handful of super relatively mainstream, like not even 32-bit x86 anymore, right? But I packaged WebKit GDK just for that, and now the sad thing is, the more, is it alpha? And that is a crazy stuff, right? I mean, not like, running a modern browser on a 200, 400, 500, 600 megahertz alpha, good luck. But let's say you have a state-of-the-art 600, if not 600 megahertz, if not 1000. Like let's say you have the very last alpha, maybe even freaking dual socket processor SMP alpha, and you want to run a web browser. And then, but it also fails for RISC-V and stuff. And that is like, you package stuff to have a portable fallback, and then the bloody portable fallback breaks, right? As if you have nothing else to do at the end of the year. Of course, previously we didn't build that necessarily, or it's an update. So I recently updated that. It basically fails for all. So yeah, it fails like that. What even is it? Block? Oh wait, is it just some? This is Ruby. Are you effing kidding me? Oh my godness. This fails in freaking Ruby code. Holy cow. And even here I have multiple things to say, right? I mean, not only, okay, I can work around this. I mean, the irony is I just locally upgraded. I exceptionally to pretest this had that, and first of all, I really hate that if you build an open source ecosystem that you need, not only in 2022 but already in 2010, you needed everything but the kitchen, or like you needed everything and the kitchen sink and the toaster and the coffee machine. Like, why do you need Python, Perl, Ruby, and freaking Node.js, right? 2020, and you needed Node.js to build freaking Firefox. Like, why? Why? Why do you need freaking Ruby for? Although, is there an option? I remember. So I only test build that to commit this, and then I will probably to work around this. And I'm probably not. I mean, okay, sure, I could probably patch that, but I probably won't for today. I will probably try to locally install on this build workstation the previous Ruby version. So yeah, for you playing along at home, Christmas there, present for you, latest JIT accelerated Ruby stuff, and then you probably can't use it to build WebKit, but package Ruby. Let's install locally slightly. What's going on? What? Darn, non-breaking Unicode. Shit. Did I? Oh, I did. One wrong. Not sure. Did someone? Apparently, maybe no tech. I need to check. Data. So yeah, as usual, nothing better Christmas present for you, your significant other, family, and coding friends as an AI-powered package update bot. Cool. Notec did this. So I had this prepared. Notec also did the thing. I had this already partially prepared. It wasn't 100%ly Notec. So yeah, thank you very much. That is amazing. Cool. He apparently. Why did he use make? That is interesting. Okay, let's. So I had this only partially converted. That is interesting. Okay, I'm not sure if I needed that. Okay, I analyze this later. Amazing nonetheless. I only converted some needed. Actually, I probably should not have SVN. Anyway, if there's something more needed, then I will do this, redo it. So Ruby we wanted, right? SVN up. Also here some. I need to find a better solution for this here. That to not to maybe simply exclude Python and AVR32. Maybe that is the easiest. That is MIPS. Yeah, I also need to find a better full solution for cross-compiling this Perl stuff. It's only in the build because you need XML parser, right? I could do the easier route of not building that in toolchain, but then your host system would always need to have it, and even I sometimes did not have that. So it is the right thing to pre-build this in the tool, like native tools in the toolchain stage, but now we have a bit of complexity for cross builds if it's included in the build by default. So yeah, welcome everyone who tuned in now. That is amazing. Happy you enjoy this season and holidays. Linux is just a kernel, the rest of others have their favorite language. Nix user probably says this to some things I said. So, and what do you have here? WebKit. Okay, right. So this is Musel. So I wanted to update to this and see if actually it is the second time. So yeah, this is silly. The right thing probably would be to patch WebKit, but the only constant is change and breakage, right? Even in scripting languages, Python, Perl, like why? I mean, I understand making stuff nicer. I kind of get the argument but it's such a false argument of constantly breaking language features and support stuff. But leave in the comments below how amazing you find that. And let's see. I'm using the last. Merry Christmas, everyone. Regarding Ruby, mainly because Linux is just a kernel, rests other. Still can't fully parse that. You can continue to comment on that, but maybe that. I understand that people love. I mean, I probably preferred Ruby more. I find Python. I mean, Perl. The crazy stuff is when I was still a teenager, and Perl, like, I'm not even sure if there was Python, there probably wasn't Ruby. Since the beginning of the 2000s, even when I was a teenager, I thought like Perl is complete garbage, right? I totally couldn't get why Unix people loved Perl. I always found it a really annoying, not well thought out and nice to work with language. PHP similar low quality stuff. Python a little bit better, but never loved it the most. I actually found Ruby, I didn't, like the last years, continue to look into it the most. I found Ruby at least somewhat cleaner or stuff, but I understand that there are more languages. I'm only saying not every language, like it is a little bit annoying, just need to close the window. I had to naturally cool my Ryzen here to boost all core boost to 5.4 gigahertz. Speed up the boot a little bit, but not getting a little bit fresh. Nothing for some coffee. Let's see if that. It's just annoying that you need everything in the kitchen thing to build. Like I probably once upon a time the bloody Linux kernel even needed Perl, right? Like why? Or maybe they need Perl, maybe even BC, the binary calculator, or whatever. Maybe they changed. I don't follow every release and patch what they changed there. Nowadays you even need since years you need very up-to-date libelf tool stuff for lots of their infrastructure working there. Did I even let's see if this Ruby version fixes. Where is even I'm just saying not everything needs to be used, right? And in general, often this additional stuff is also often documentation and whatnot. But sometimes they compute values. I think in the Linux kernel they computed timing related values and other stuff like that in Perl or BC or whatever. Why is this phone blinking? I got messages or just charging? RADM logs. Let's try our luck on Spark 64 and see what happens. Actually, Spark 64. Let's up the parallel count there though. I only have that 10 because I built all of the stuff in parallel, so that multiplies to 100 if not 200. The last days I usually had like 180 freaking load of building everything in parallel. This is why I usually have only like 10, so that because often you have non-threaded single CPU load configurants and stuff. And then VTE for PowerPC, which I wish I would remember how and that's the crazy stuff. I at times remember stuff like, it is also crazy that the brain saves it, right? 20 years later, I still remember like how I was sitting in my student apartment in Berlin with probably my 600 megahertz Athlon, my 270 megahertz UltraSpark 5, and maybe later in 800 megahertz iBook or stuff. And I like still remember like what crazy shit I fixed, and then like that's. I mean, I get this, that the brain needs to store this stuff for reference and reuse, and that is just knowledge you accumulate. And then I don't remember, like some weeks ago, like 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks ago, I remember I had something similar to this VTE thing here. This is also the wrong one. We need PowerPC, and I don't remember what. And it wasn't VTE, I guess. I think it was something like Pango or Cargo. Maybe I check actually. Was it like Pango? Pango or Cairo? Here, hotfix, there we have it. At least my brain is, after having COVID once, not totally dead. At least, but that is the stuff, right? You remember, you fixed something, hey, so much to, what did I say, 4, 5, 6, what, something like that weeks ago? Hey, there we have it. November the 5th. Cairo, so how did I fix this shit? It's ridiculous. And I would even call that ridiculous to start with. Do they really add no one? Do they really add that? Oh my freaking god. So, wow. Wait, what? Why do I do, wait, what? No one. Var append. What? Why do I even do that? Conf test has a load segment with read, write, execute. I get it. So on PowerPC 64, this errored out because we have a slightly older bin utils, and that slightly older bin utils doesn't have this option. So we add this to remove this warning, but we can't for PowerPC 64. So I was wondering, what the heck, why not PowerPCs like due complexities, right? I could very theoretically, the problem is I don't even, also recurring theme, right? How many? Hey, only 44. It feels like an hour, but it's only 44 minutes of live stream. very theoretically, and there you see why I ask for Patreon, GitHub sponsorship, GoFundMe, or just YouTube membership, or buying a freaking commercial license to support us. Because very theoretically, I should spend even more build time, efforts, and expensive electrons here in this days and ages. I should theoretically check if we can now use the latest bin utils. I don't quite also not remember, recurring theme of maybe I'm getting old and my memory is not the most amazing anymore. Maybe I should take more vitamins or coffee. Because I don't quite remember what failed on PowerPC. I often like to think that my commit messages and comments are a good balance, but then probably I should even at times document stuff even a tiny little bit more, because I don't quite remember how the latest bin utils fail on PowerPC. See, that's also the crazy stuff, right? The only constant is change and regressions, and major PowerPC 64 of latest and greatest, not vintage, latest and greatest IBM's Power 10 and stuff, little Indian state-of-the-art PowerPC, and then it somehow breaks because was it segmentation? Either it was segmentation faulting, and that is the stuff, right? I every hour fix some build error that at the end of the day, I don't. Oh, I so hate Unicode. Like why? Who thought like I need a bloody console filter to filter all? I type. Probably I should blame myself and type slower to not produce Shift or Fn pressed. I don't know what produces Unicode non-breaking spaceship. So fix PowerPC with previous builds overlay downgrade to fix PowerPC. What do you mean? Why do I say there too? Maybe another. All right, maybe PowerPC. We tested PowerPC builds break. What? We tested the PowerPC builds bracket wrong, and unfortunately, it's still needed. Fix the comment about assertion. Default page size. So maybe it was alright. Maybe I need to comment that even better. I think it was. I think complex software linking complex software resulted in assertions. I think the new version, as far as I see this now and remember, I think we got bin utils assertion for like and that is the stuff, right? You build some stuff, like basic stuff starts to build and link and stuff, and then you hit some complex stuff like maybe LVM2 or the Linux kernel stuff or GCC or LVM Clang, and then you get internal either GCC internal compiler error or bin utils assertion for why do you code without syntax highlighting? I don't know. I need. I just code. A code is code. I don't know. I mean, maybe I grew up without syntax highlighting. This is modern stuff. I mean, I don't know. My eyes and brain see code, and sure, syntax highlighting can be nice and stuff, but it's kind of. I could say first world problems, right? Syntax highlighting. I grew up with the 386, man. I grew up with my 25 megahertz, 2 megabyte 386 SX25 of my father's, initially without freaking hard drive, and initially without color graphics. So I don't know. I don't need syntax highlighting. It can be nice, yes. With super complex code, yeah, kind of, sort of. But the crazy stuff is actually what is our impact. I should also share, like, and subscribe for me to actually fix this SGI impact driver more for your Octane and stuff business, right? var adm mock. So what is our Spark build doing? WebKit, that's still doing. Interesting. Yeah, and theoretically, so what is left then? Left is probably testing PS3 for real. Our precious PowerPC stuff. And probably, and that is the thing, right? One more thing, 2 months later, one more thing. I probably should make our installer Stone module a tiny little bit nicer for a little bit better LVM support. Where's WebKit is to the Okay, so we fixed all major stuff. All right, PowerPC. Where's our PowerPC stuff? We wanted to fix VTE, so we need to check what's going on there. Probably we fix this similarly. Do they really? Why do they? All right, I think from my memory, probably the new bin utils is producing a warning, and most people don't notice because they don't have read, write, execute segments. We only notice because building some exotic architectures. Maybe that is fixable, maybe there are options, but maybe nobody cared for PowerPC 64 stuff. Oh darn. What was it? It was Cairo, right? No? Was it not Cairo? Congo? Which? Darn, I should have copied that the moment. No, I'm puzzled. Pro tip. Do it instantly. And don't talk 10 minutes or what other stuff live on YouTube. What? Ah, it's in the conf. It is also silly that is producing basically a warning should not be a hard abort. This is also silly in my opinion. It's for like developers a good thing, but not for like general purpose of everyone else building that. So this is misleading. I looked into that. As far as I've seen, it is breaking due to that producing this is producing a warning. RW read write executable segment things. Let's see if that fixes it. Which, yeah, it is what it is. Ah, cool. Also, darn, of course. What is overload? Probably high. Only 6. But there you see, having multiple builds running with 10 of stuff and then serialized configure stuff or LTO and so on and so on. Yeah, this, oh no. VTE. So yeah, that fixed that. I looked, as I remembered, I looked into the log file last night, but didn't feel like fixing it at midnight. So yeah, that are some build errors. So I guess should we break this build, break that build, break that build. I break those builds because I have a build all. How long is it building? HPPA 18. Yeah, just a couple of minutes. I think the total build time is 15 minutes plus. Actually, with 10 threads, probably more. 20, 25 minutes, I guess. I broke this build because I want to use my build all driver here, and then it's like build all architectures. All right, I also need find. Should we find? Does actually, I always wondered, do they support multiple directories? Not sure if I tried this. Maybe they do build RADM. Let's try out together. RADM logs name to webkit. Yeah, that works. End, how is the syntax? End size 0. Oh, this even freaking works here. Amazing. If you didn't know that you can use find like this, then now you know. Hope you learned something. I previously touched this build to skip over the log. So yeah, we fixed what I wanted to fix. And it is the second time. I probably wanted to say that earlier, but forgot. It's probably the second time that this Ruby-related WebKit breakage hits me, which is kind of annoying. I remember actually 2, 3, 4, 5. I've seen that before, which is also silly, but it is what it is. So now we will have that stuff all building. We could check a quick, actually, let's check 2 things. First, before I forget, to do font default, so this applet, I think this fixed itself. I tested ISO the other day. It didn't, because previously I had, at least in QEMU, some XFCE applet, like you start XFCE and you like power applet, whatever, quit or something, restarts. Yeah. I think this solved itself, maybe upstream. They had for some XFCE packages .1 releases already, so I suspect some .1 release probably magically fixed something. So swap from LLVM I tested. Crypto I could test. So actually, and that is the thing, right? One more thing, no, a dozen more things, right? Theoretically, all of this stuff would be nice to have, right? Which are high priority to-dos. I mean, they are all not mission critical, except, do I have here LVM? Maybe I don't. So actually, LVM, better LVM to Stone support. Yeah, one more thing, 10 more things, right? Actually, here I have that. I changed that already. Maybe it's actually not needed anymore. I also wonder why the AMD, KVM AMD does not autoload. Maybe Intel autoloads, I don't know. But I should review that. So yeah, that's it. All right, the second thing I wanted to check is what other build errors there are. Alpha WebKit, why do we have that? All right, so this should rebuild automatically. This one here is probably known. I partially fixed that, but not yet fully. You need to share, like, and subscribe for that. Is it in JIT? Maybe it's failing in JIT. I really hate when it's not, could not compile QCMS. What is that? Unresolved imports, some float imports, a float, a vector, I mean. Yeah, it's not the most important. I think I skip it for now. I'm not sure if that is the same build, or I remember that Big Endian MIPS did not fully build. It's not the most popular ARM variant anyway. Maybe we fix this for another day. I wonder if, so this WebKit will automatically rebuild that too. And what was so all right, this is actually, this is known, I don't really care too much. We could already give it a head start here. Oops. It will, my build all build will build that, of course, but as we have 120 seconds, I run it with 120 seconds delay. It will take a while, so we can already let this long arch 64 continue building there while the build all driver. So yeah, that's basically it. Testing P3, I hope it works. Maybe it doesn't, because usually upstream, the only constant is change in upstream breakage. The annoying thing is often it takes me hours to bisect and debug P3 boot breakage. That is usually pretty annoying. Share, like, and subscribe for that. I probably should test it because P3 is obviously, for reasons, one of our most popular architecture combinations. So I probably should test boot that. Famous last words. And I should make the LVM stuff better. And maybe I will start, because also on my to-do, I actually have, of all the things you can sponsor, either with share, like, subscribe, but even better, Patreon, GitHub sponsorship and stuff, or GoFundMe. Because T2 is really currently the most amazing release of T2 ever, of course, with all this excessive work I put in here daily and live on YouTube. But there's always so much more thing, just dog fooding here our own stuff, especially on SG Octane and P3 and stuff. Because there's also auto, do I have here somewhere? I probably have easier. Yeah, I might start this because when I touch the stone module now, I can also add that. And as per usual, one last thing. I will start it super easy. I always like to do that also with our commercial software. First do stuff proof of concept, use it with some customers, and then, because it makes no sense to develop something for months and then nobody's using it, nobody's satisfied, or it turns out garbage. So this is easier, because some people said partitioning is too difficult, and I agree, especially for Sun and HPPA risk which need very specific partition layouts. I will probably start it the next days, maybe like my famous midnight couch projects also, with some winter tea. Cheers. And I will do it easy, which is just some dialogue. Like, I will probably only do it for x86 only also, because there are too many platform specific things. And then I will add other platforms later. So I will case uname-m or so. And for now, like x86 only, everything else not. So you will not see this. And for supported platforms, I will have automatically partition your primary storage and lose all data also. Because like shrinking Windows and other Linux distributions, we are not in this business. Like, erase your primary storage and automatically set it up or stuff. And then later expand it for the very complicated, or not very complicated, but even I start to forget what very specific bootstrap, especially HPPA risk, whatever, like Hewlett-Packard initial program loader, and Sun, obviously, Sun partition map and boot partition and so on, and so on and so on. Anyway, maybe later we will add a question: do you want, like maybe even make it a three-state choice of automatically partition your primary storage? No, like classic direct partition, or 3 LVM, or maybe even encrypted, because I even made a questionnaire right here on our more main channel. So you can still vote there. if you want it. That is also the reason why I make this questionnaires, to get some feedback what other people are actually using. Of course, I have always some gut feeling, but having some reality check and community feedback always helps to understand what we should develop and prioritize and stuff. Anyways, that's it now. 1 hour Christmas live stream. I hope you have a wonderful time and holidays. Stay healthy and awesome. I hope you learned something. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. And I hope to see you soon for all the next amazing stuff to come.